Hi there! For this video, we'll be talking about the basics on percents. So, let's first write out percents. So, from the word itself, percent basically it literally means per 100. So this is from per and 100. Or it literally is for each 100. So basically, percents are a special type of fractions where the denominator is 100, or we treat one whole as divided by 100 equal parts. So in fraction, we write it as, say if we have this one over 100, like that. So this one is a percent, but since the denominator is always 100, we usually replace this denominator into the symbol of percent, which is this one, the percent symbol. So we usually write this as, say, a number and percent. So that is how percents work. They are basically a fraction with a denominator of 100. So let's try out some examples. First with the trivial example. So if we have 0%, 0% literally means 0. Since if we represent this in fraction, this is 0 over 100, which we know to be 0. On the other hand, if we have 100%, this means 1, since this is basically 100 over 100, or if we simplify, it's 1. So these are the most trivial examples for percent. And with this in mind, this gives us an idea of what the value of the percentage in between them. Because say if we are given a number and it is between 0% and 100%, then that number is actually from 0 to 1. So we know that every number that is less than 100% is actually less than 1. So let's put this out here and let's give some examples on that one. So if we have 25%, this one is actually 25 over 100, which by now we can simplify this as 1 over 4 through our knowledge in fractions. So indeed, this one is between 0 and 1. If we have 50%, this one is 50 over 100, which is actually 1/2 in lowest terms. So again, it is in here. Now what if we have 150%? Actually, this becomes 150 over 100. So if we simplify this, we can cancel this one out. And we know that 15 is 3 times 5. 10 is 2 times 5. So we can cancel out the 5s out here. It would give us with 3 halves. So with this in mind, we need to take note that when a percent is greater than 100, its value isn't here already. And in fact, for every number that is, for every percent that is greater than 100%, its value in whole numbers is actually greater than 1. So take note of these basic ideas on percents. Now, to end this video, let's try to illustrate these concepts that we have discussed in some illustrations. So, one most common form where percent is used is in pie charts. So, for instance, we can divide this one in these parts. Let's fix that one. Say this one, we have this one, and say we divide this into these parts. Yeah. Let's just assume that we have properly created this chart out there. So then say this one contains the 35% of the portion, this one contains the 25% of the portion, 5% of the portion, 9%, 11%, and 15%. So this is where the idea of percent comes handy, especially when we're dealing with some datas, since it is easy to visually represent which among these portions has a higher value given the idea of percentage. So that is one example of percent. Now, what if we have the same chart again? And we have seen that, for instance, we were able to shade the whole part out here. Then this literally means 100%, since all portions of this whole is occupied by only the yellow color. Now what if there's none? So this one is 0%. Now if this one is the half is colored with yellow, while the other part is colored with orange. Assuming that we have created this one perfectly, then this one is represented by 50%, and this one is represented by 50%. So that's basically it. The ideas of percents give us a good grasp on how a whole is divided. And this one would be very useful, especially in some formal studies such as researches, since that would involve a lot of charts, and percents are also used in finances, especially in investments, interest, stocks. But since we're only dealing with the basics here, you don't really need to focus on that much still. Just focus on the basic idea behind it. And for the future videos, we'll probably try to incorporate the idea on decimals and fractions and percents, since these three are all combinations of what rational numbers are. And so that is all for this video.